That's a whole other thing we have to figure out, is how we are going to do that. Okay. So now, oh, some attendees have shown up. People are coming in. Oh, good, good, good.
Okay, split up my audio to my video to avoid any or connectivity issues. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
God. Honey, can you please put on headphones so I can't hear you over there? Thanks. Yay. Okay, Lizette. Okay. Good, good. Rogelio. All right. People are showing up. Good. 17. Nice. Good. What time is it? I've got 3 minutes to showtime. Do we want to wait a couple of minutes or start right at 12? What happened to you, Carla? Where'd you go? What happened to Carla? Oh, she's here as League of Women Voters, I guess. Okay. Hi, Janet. Okay. People are coming in. That's good. Oh, wow. Good. Good number. We're going to start in about 30 seconds. Is it 12? All right. Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Woodland's virtual State of the Community event featuring Woodland Mayor Mayra Vega with special guest Woodland's Police Chief Derek Kath. Welcome to both of you. I'm Karen Urbano, president of our local league this year. The League of Women Voters is committed to empowering voters and defending democracy, not only here in Yolo County, but nationwide. We're happy you're here today for this presentation. I'd like to acknowledge the elected officials who have joined us today. Can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. Or their representatives. And here's a list. I'm not going to read off everybody's name. If you were here in person, we could all stand up. You could all stand up and take a bow. So a little applause. And we also, in the next slide, we have local officials from Esparto and Woodland Joint Unified School District Board and Woodland Joint Unified School District Interim Superintendent. Okay. Finally, next slide. I'd like to thank all of you, anybody who has donated to our league to support our mission. It's really important that we can continue that way. So next slide. Following the presentations, the mayor and Chief Kath will respond to questions as time allows. At about 5 minutes before 1, we'll finish. But before that, you can put your questions in the Q&A using the using the directions here. So with that, I would like to invite Mayor Mayra Vega to speak to us.
Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much to the League for all the work that you guys put in to organize this event. I know it's not easy to shift from in-person to virtual and all the technical challenges that come with it. So thank you so much for your diligence and your work in making this happen. So thank you to all the attendees. It's my pleasure to share this lunchtime with you all and share some exciting things that are happening in the city. I'm going to share my screen. Is everybody seeing my screen? All right. Okay, so first, if you haven't taken some time to visit our beautiful mural that's downtown that celebrates our 150th anniversary, please take some time. It's just gorgeous. All right, and today I'm going to share a little bit about our council's strategic priorities. So Mayor Stollard actually set a strategic plan, led the strategic planning process last year. So we're in year 2 of this plan, and today I'm going to highlight the full 4 priority areas and some great things that are happening within each of them. So first, improving the quality of life. Gosh, as we have reflected on these challenging times, the quality of everybody's life is something that's top of mind and something that's a very top priority for us. Additionally, the focus on economic development and the community downtown. Additionally, enhancing governance and fiscal responsibility. So we're have discipline and good stewards of our resources, and of course, strengthening public safety and infrastructure. So some of the highlights on quality of life, some of you may have heard, but we were named as one of the top 100 best places to live. So this is really exciting, and it hit the news outlets throughout the region. It's something that we should be very proud of. So Livability released a data-driven list of the top 100 best places to live in America, and our city was ranked among them. So their rankings include evaluations of a city's economy, infrastructure, amenities, housing, and more. So we were number 2 in the state of California. I think that's something that we should all be very proud of. And additionally, with quality of life, of course, a focus and investment on our youth, the future leaders of our community and the region, maybe even the country. Right? So some of the areas that I'd like to highlight in youth initiatives is our engagement with the Joint Unified School District to launch our Woodland Youth Master Plan. This is a really important guiding document that shows the entire Woodland community commitment to our young people. Right? Through the Community Services Department, we continue to look at the services that we offer so to ensure that they're accessible and come up with creative ways to reach our youth, engage families who have not historically participated in some of our city programming. This is an example of with COVID and all of the restrictions, the team created a floating pumpkin patch in October, and you can see you got some smiling faces there. Additionally, as far as facilities and amenities in our community that are going to support youth and wellness, city staff are actively working and developing some funding plans for a second pool. The timing, I get this asked a lot. The expected return to City Council with next steps are going to happen late in the spring and early summer. Additionally, we are partnering to help open a new Boys and Girls Club in Woodland. So we recently reached out to some youth groups in the area, and a request that they had for council was to have more places for youth to hang out. They're looking for places to hang out with friends, to connect outside of school, outside of the home. So this Boys and Girls Club is going to bring that facility where our youth can engage with their peers. We're also supporting a forthcoming facility for fast pitch softball, which will be an important resource for young women athletes in our community. All right, and another exciting thing, if you guys have driven 113 lately, or in the past few months, you'll see a big pile of dirt on both sides of 113. So this is the groundbreaking that happened. These are my colleagues here that helped with shovels in the ground. This pedestrian overcross is going to connect the east side of town with the west side of Woodland, and really is going to create this safe way for our children, families to walk across 113. Right. Before this, we don't have a real good, safe way to access across 113. So this is exciting. I hope everybody rallies with me when we're able to finally walk across it or ride our bikes. Okay, some other quality of life more around the infrastructure aspects, or our commitment to sustainability and bicycle-friendly infrastructure. So this is much like Kentucky Avenue and the progress that you all see on East Main and Gibson, and coming is Gum and Mount Moore. So all of these is just infrastructure that we're investing into. It one day we can maybe not depend on cars to get around town. You can walk, ride in a safe manner. All right, and then another really exciting thing, the Woodland Regional Park. So I think this is a plan that I have known about for some time, and I had the pleasure of going out during our day of service, Martin Luther King, and plant some trees. This is really exciting. So this is a regional park preserve that's going to bring open space for us to go out and enjoy walks, do some programming with a center that is going to be developed there. So that's really exciting, and the timing for that is late spring. So keep an eye out. Right now, it's not open to the community, but there's a lot of prep and a lot of people that are working to get this grand opening to happen. All right. Another exciting thing around transportation, so of course, sustainability is a priority for council, and something that is exciting is a project, microtransit project that we've been working on since summer of 2021. So we've been working closely with Yolo County Transportation District to bring a model of more on-demand point-to-point public service. So the council approved an RFP for a microtransit technology partner. So this is going to be more of an Uber-like service that's going to allow for a more flexibility than the pre-programmed standard routes that we have through the bus service. So this is going to be, again, another infrastructure or amenity that's going to allow us to not be so dependent on our vehicles to get around, and additionally to help our youth get around town to sports activities or any other recreation that is not within a walkable distance. And the Woodland College program is something I'm very excited about. This is a partnership with Woodland Community College. So this partnership provides financial resources to help Woodland students who graduated from any of our high schools here in Woodland who might not otherwise be able to afford college. So this expands beyond the grant programs and gives them funding for books and other things that they need to be successful students. So the two components are a fee waiver program and scholarship program that are that form this program. So the first cohort began in 2021. We had 19 participants, and happy to report we have 63% of them were identified as female, and 84% of them were Latino. So I'm looking forward to seeing this program grow as the community becomes more aware of it and takes advantage of this wonderful program that we have here for our youth. Okay, and then our focus on economic development in downtown. So some highlights here that I would like to share is the parking. So I often have folks reach out to me around parking, just ease of getting around town and finding parking. So this partnership with JAPA is our city partnering with a local startup for smart parking. So basically the app is going to notify you where there's open spots. So you can go directly to where there's open spots instead of driving around looking for a spot to park. So this is great. You're going to be able to get your family downtown to an event, in and out. So this is again another aspect to be more sustainable. So limit the time that we're driving around. And of course, the Woodland Research and Technology Park. So many of you have heard this. So an update on that is this is a 350-acre mixed-use work-live development, which is going to be crucial for meeting our housing needs, innovation technology, locally and regionally. And currently, the final entitlement and financing stages is where we are, and the anticipated full City Council approval is going to be presented, or proposal is going to be presented to Council for approval in spring of 2022. All right, one of the, I mentioned one of the components or determinations that were made to bring us to be one of the top cities, livable cities in the country was Lab at AgStart. So this is a really exciting thing. It's a lab, only lab of its kind in Northern California that includes a shared wet lab, food lab, and co-working space. So this is a really exciting project here in Woodland, and it's had great success. So this is a partnership, a really true partnership between public, private, and organizations. So the partners include the City of Woodland, the U.S. Economic Development Administration, the State of California's iBank, Yolo County, and then private support and sponsorship from the Yotadehi Winter Nation, Rayleigh's, First Northern Bank, Bayer, Syngenta, and many others. So this is again a place for startups or businesses from outside of the region, in the country, and even internationally. This allows them the space to do research, the working space, and the lab. So an example of a success story that I'd like to share is Turtle Tree. This is a company focused on developing cell-based milk in a lab, and the first international startup company to base itself at the lab at AgStart. Recently, they announced $30 million in Series A funding. So at this community, this lab start right here, this facility is really gaining some great momentum and supporting our industry of innovation in agriculture. Okay, so those are a few highlights for me, and now I'm going to transition over to Chief Caff to talk about public safety in our community and some of the achievements.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mayor Vega. Thank you. For those of you who I haven't met yet, I'm Chief Derek Caff here with the Woodland Police Department. I'm excited to talk about 3 specific topics in regards to public safety here in Woodland. So for years, I would attend neighborhood watch meetings, community meetings, things like that, and I would give a presentation on overall public safety. But when it would come time for questions, it seemed like everyone wanted to know about 3 things. They'd want to know about homelessness, traffic, and violent crime. And so those are going to be my 3 topics for today. And I'll start first with homelessness. And so homelessness is, it impacts our calls for service. We track the impact, how many times the officers are responding to calls with persons that are experiencing homelessness. And it's honestly, it ranges every month. It hovers at around 40 to 45% of all of our calls for service. So it definitely affects the community. We've been working, we got a strong partnership with the Yolo County District Attorney's Office, and they really have some great programs that are unique. You know, Yolo County is unique in that a lot of the things that people started talking about last summer in regards to criminal justice reform, we've been doing here in Yolo County for a long time. And one of those programs that I want to highlight in regards to both homelessness and violent crime is their data-driven intervention program. We are strong partners with them in that program. And so what that is if you can imagine, there's a very, very, very small portion of our community that causes an inordinate amount of crime. And by focusing our attention on those that are really driving crime in the community, we're able to make a big impact. We just refreshed our list. We took a look through who's getting arrested the most in Woodland. And there are 10 individuals that combined accounted for 252 arrests in the last year. That's 10 people getting arrested 252 times. And so we're going to be working with our partners, service providers, and the district attorney's office to figure out what can we do to affect that repeat cyclical arrest situation that they are in. As evidence of how well this program works, we took a look at who were the people we were focused on in the previous year. They too had a similar amount of arrests when we first began working with them. And they were only arrested, the 10 of them were only arrested 23 times in that time period. So to go from 252 down to about 23, that's a really responsible use of our resources, of the county's resources, and it helps us there. Today, we're finishing up that point in time count that everybody is doing. And I was checking in with them last night, and although it feels like, there has been an increase in homelessness, we got to remember that there's a lot of programs, thanks to COVID, honestly, like the Project Room Key, and as well as us moving the shelter out to the East Beamer complex at increased bed space. And so we have a lot of success stories about getting folks that were unhoused into housing. Out there on East Beamer, we have 100 bed spaces, and we have space most nights. We have space last night, but the city isn't stopping there. We're also working on 61 additional units that are going to be in the back there that will be transitioning folks into permanent supportive housing. And so all of this can't be done by just the city. It's strong partnerships with the county. It's strong partnerships with our healthcare providers here locally, and as well as a number of service groups that are actively involved in working in the community. In regards to traffic, everybody, it seems like after COVID hit, we all learned a new way to drive, and it seems to be just a little bit more aggressive. Traffic complaints for us went up by about 20%. So we made it a focus for our officers that when they have available time, we want them conducting traffic enforcement. And as a result, over the last year, we were able to increase the number of traffic stops that we made by 23%. That's a big jump for 1 year, but it's because it's one of our priorities, because when we were doing our strategic plan about 18 months ago, and we did a community survey and we asked what people were interested in, improving traffic and pedestrian safety was one of their top concerns. So we're working on that. And then we've also strengthened our partnership with the city's engineering department, the traffic engineers, because we get requests for increased enforcement. And then the engineers additionally are getting requests for traffic calming efforts. That would be things like speed bumps, additional signs, better lighting, all of that falls into traffic calming. And so rather than operating in silos, we're now working together, sharing our crash data, our citation data with them. They are sharing all of their complaint data and all of their studies that they are doing so that we can make sure and we overlay on a map where are the complaints, where is the enforcement, and where is the need for the traffic calming so that we can better serve and protect the community in regards to traffic safety. In regards to violent crime, it's something that, I hope none of you ever have to experience, because the trauma associated with violent crime is generational. In the first half of 2021, we were averaging a shooting every 5.3 days, a shooting here in Woodland. And I'm very thankful to the city. The city partnered with a group called Advance Peace. And this is a group that is a violence interrupter program. And you may be hearing about that, in national news, that everybody wants to have violence interrupters. And what those are people that had been involved in cyclical gun violence have made a change and are now mentoring and working. It's their job to get others who are currently involved in cyclical gun violence other options. And so the city partnered with Advance Peace back in July of 2021. And then additionally, from a law enforcement standpoint, we had about 18 months ago partnered with the FBI to start a Safe Streets program here. And so what that is a partnership between the Woodland Police Department and the Federal Bureau of Investigations to look at those folks that are involved in serious violent crime. And so this kind of two-pronged approach of traditional law enforcement focusing on those that are involved in it, and then supporting service providers like Advance Peace in the community has resulted in a dramatic drop in shootings here in town. So in that first half of the year, we were experiencing a shooting every 5.3 days. Now we're over 30 days since July 1 for each shooting that we've had. We've only had 5 shootings since July 1. And I'm knocking on wood, you can't see it, but I'm knocking on wood because we know that being a generational person who's involved in violent crime, in gun violence, this is going to be a long work. And we've got to constantly be working in this space and providing support, not only to the people that are involved in this, but their family members, because the trauma that is associated with violent crime is astronomical. And so that's why we partner with Yolo County Mental Health. We have 2 clinicians here in the city of Woodland that assist us with mental health response calls. They are co-responders. One of them works exclusively with our homeless population. And the other one works with anyone that is experiencing crisis and supports their family for days after that initial call for service. Because we know that the police are there for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. But when we leave, the person who's in crisis and their support system, they're still living that 24 hours a day. So I'm really proud of the fact that the city has had clinicians working with us since 2014. So that's a big, good deal. And with that, I'm sure people will have questions at the end, and the mayor, I'm sure, will be able to guide us through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for that overview and those updates. So I am seeing some questions come in. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the first one is from Rogelio Villagrana. So it's around microtransit and the cost, how it will be determined. It's a great question. Rogelio, you don't have that information now, but I tell you the point of this microtransit model is to make it accessible and affordable, right? So more to come on that. Right now, the technology partner is, we're seeking after that technology partner and working out the details. So stay tuned for that. And the next one, so this is from Lorna for Chief Cass. When you identify the individuals involved in the most infractions, how did you ensure that you also didn't focus so excessively on them that officers could be considered to be stalking them?
Sure, that's a great question. So this is just based on the number of times they had been arrested previously. And now we aren't out there as officers. We are we're working with the service providers, with mental health, with the shelter when they are connected with the shelter, letting them know that they're this involved in the system, but we're not out there looking for them. What happens is when they commit a crime, then our system is able to let us know, look, this person has been arrested X number of times in the previous 12 months. And then that's when we're focusing on those persons. I see the next question there too, Madam Mayor.
All right, so let's see. Okay, so this is from Mark. So for Chief Cass, excessive speeding on Gibson Road is chronic. What speed enforcement and traffic calming programs can Woodland expect?
Certainly. So in 2021, we were able to expand to get a 3rd motor officer It was an existing officer position, but we assigned somebody from patrol to have their full-time job be traffic enforcement. The goal of the motor officers is basically to be out there making traffic stops. Currently, they also assist with traffic collisions, but as we look to the future, traffic collision investigations are one of those things that you don't need to be a police officer to do. And so we're looking to expand our professional staff so that those types of jobs can be done by professional staff, and freeing up the police officers to conduct the very dangerous work of traffic enforcement. As far as Gibson Road specifically, with that construction and everything that's down there, the motors and the officers assigned to that area are conducting traffic enforcement as much as they can. But we just need to get basically more time and more enforcement down in the area, because Gibson Road is one of the top 3 complaint areas that we get for speed.
Thank you, Chief. All right, so this is from Michael. What is the best way to request increased traffic coverage in my neighborhood?
All right, and absolutely. So for all of us, if you're looking for increased traffic enforcement, the best way is honestly just to call into our non-emergency line, and you can call the front desk and let us know. We accept traffic complaints both here at the station through the front desk. You can also call the non-emergency dispatch line, 666-2411. And you can just talk to a dispatcher and let them know, look, we're having speeding vehicles, or maybe it's people running stop signs, or you live near a school and it's parking complaints before and after school. You can call either one of those 2 ways. We also have online, we accept, a number of different reports that way, and one of them is a tip. You can call in, or you can leave the information online for us as a tip, and we will get that to the traffic department.
Thank you, Chief. Something else that we have a traffic calming program where residents or even neighborhoods have requested potentially some stop signs, yield signs, so just a way to calm the traffic in their neighborhood. I'm going to drop the link here into a flyer that informs community members how to start that process. So I think I can drop it here in the chat. Everybody can see it. So I encourage folks to take a look at that. And that's just a way to start the process. There's a study that needs to be done, and a determination, a timeline that will be established based on the needs. So please jot that down and keep that also handy. Okay, all right, so let me see. Okay, all right, so then I have one. So this is from Robin. How is Woodland involving local youth and acting against global climate change and its growing impacts, since they will be living with those impacts more than we will, right? That's a great question, Robin. Something, we had a council retreat earlier this month, and we invited all of the commissions that support our community, and just a quick shout out for all those volunteers that take time to participate in our commissions. The Sustainability Advisory Committee came, and they have expressed an interest to work more collaboratively with us. And we're going to be getting a refresher study session around the climate action plan to take a look at it, and give us a call out that a lot of things have changed, and certainly time has passed since we've had that. So taking a fresh look at that, and always having that youth lens, right? I think somebody made a comment, if you want to make a difference, start with the schools. The kids are there, right? Teach them, and oftentimes they teach us parents. I know my 5-year-old comes home with all kinds of things for me to learn. Okay, all right, so let me see. So this is from Lorna. For me, if you have a favorite program that you would like to see happen or is already being implemented, what would that be? Oh, great question, Lorna. So something that came to me, I became aware of, is just the accessibility to some of our programs or summer programming, right? So if you're a working family, have 2 working parents, and your child is not in school, the need for an activity, right? So the Summer Fun Time Club that's really popular around town. You see all the kids in the parks playing. It's a safe place for them to be while parents work. So there was I noted the times wasn't so accessible. So if you worked 8 hours, the program just happened to be that same time. So it was not accessible to families that work later in the day. So something that I'm excited about, the Community Services Department expanded that time so that families can send their children there and they can participate in that program. And so parents can stay in the workforce. That's something that's really important. Okay. All right. So let me go here. So from Mark, just a question around additional speed bumps planned for Woodland, and what is the best way for residents to request them? Mark, take a peek at that traffic calming process link that I sent, and certainly reach out to me if you have any questions about that. All right, and then from Supervisor Sandy, we have Woodland has a large number of infill sites with housing costs spinning out of control. Do you see the possibility of developing affordable housing for young people and seniors without fostering more sprawl? Supervisor Sandy, great question. You know, I have to say that just thinking about our community and as it grows and ages, right, something that's important for me is for Woodland to be a great place to live and grow and age and place, right, or age and youth. So I think that's a good point. Taking opportunities of some of those infill spaces and developing partnerships to with industry or experts that are well poised to bring affordable housing is certainly something that we evaluate often. And there's some projects coming up on the west side of town that we'll be seeing come to fruition here. Thank you, Supervisor Sandy. All right, so then we have from Valerie, are we considering electric vehicles for microtransit and use of solar power charging stations? Yes, that was a topic, Valerie, that came up within this conversation, and certainly something that is top of mind for this program to make that be sustainable and friendly to the environment. Okay, and then from Carol, thank you, Chief Cass, for bringing the Advanced Peace Project to Woodland, along with the Safe Streets program. The recent data you presented is encouraging regarding the gun violence. And a question is the Advanced Peace Project being generally well received? What kind of feedback or other data can you share?
Yeah, I do believe it is being well received in the community. I look forward to, you know, honestly, over this first 6 months, they have been basically getting up to speed and operating, hiring. They have 2 neighborhood change agents and then 1 supervisor that are here, boots on the ground every day and working in that space. And just hearing from people in the community that have that met them, that they felt like this was a good thing for Woodland. And I look forward to probably after the summer, Advanced Peace being a, you know, I keep telling them, you guys need to be out here promoting what you're doing, telling the community what you're doing. I don't get any information back from them. I'll share with them everything I have. But look, at the end of the day, I don't care how shootings stop. I just want shootings to stop. And so that's why we're taking this 2-pronged approach. So I don't really have data. I don't know what their, you know, who their clients are, who they're working with, all of that. I am just a strong supporter of any community group that is working in that space to be part of the solution to get us out of the cyclical gun violence.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chief. Okay. I'm not seeing any additional questions. Karen, are you flagging me down or?
Yeah, I do see one, another one about Spring Lake, actually. But below that, there's another question from Carol. Oh, no, wait, maybe it's the one you skipped. With so many residents moving into Spring Lake, you see that one? How is the city engaging with them so they feel a part of all of our city, not just our neighborhoods? And that's your neighborhood too, right?
Yes, it is, Lorna. Thank you so much. So yes, I represent District 5, And I live in Spring Lake, so something that I did kick off this last year is having community meetings, right? So there's a lot of projects that are in flight in Spring Lake, so just wanting to engage with the community to get their feedback. I started a sort of office hours, so creative way to try to engage different folks to talk about questions that they have or additional detail that they're interested in receiving. So I plan to continue that. The spike with COVID cases can put a little bit of a halt in that because I was holding them in person. So looking forward to doing that, and also engaging with our Spring Lake Mutual Housing and some of the apartment complexes in Spring Lake. I don't typically get to connect with folks there. So I'm looking forward to more of that, Lorna. Thank you so much for that question. All right, okay. All right, so then we have, Chief, can you speak to the launching of the Crisis Now partnership?
Absolutely. So I'm excited about this project. Crisis Now, for those of you who may not know, is a project through the Yolo County in regards to kind of more of a holistic approach to mental health in persons that are in crisis. Each of the cities has committed to be a partner with the county on this initiative. And what it will bring is kind of focused around three things. So the first being that there will be a physical place, much like we had, years and years ago on Beamer Street, but staffed with mental health professionals, where our clinicians and our officers, our fire department, our ambulances, and they'll accept walk-ins, when persons are in crisis, they can be taken there and cared for by appropriately trained professionals. So that being one of them. The second being, eventually they're going to have teams that are operating throughout the county and replacing law enforcement from going to some of those calls. So we've been working out the assessments of how do we categorize which calls is it appropriate to send, just a clinician on, which one should be a co-responder model, and which one should law enforcement go in first and then bring in the clinicians. And so we're currently working through all of that as well. And then the third piece being a separate number. It'll probably end up being 988 for mental health emergencies. So you don't have to call 911 when someone is experiencing a crisis. And so those three pieces are kind of the backbones of the Crisis Now model. And that Yolo County has been kind of in the forefront of this. I was just talking to a sheriff's department from Wisconsin, of all places, that had heard about this, and they reached out to me to get more information on this. So we just gave them all of our information on our existing co-responder program, and then as well as put them in touch with the county for Crisis Now. Thank you, Mayor Vega.
Thank you, Chief. All right, so let me see. Another one from Mary Beth. Can you tell us about the new development in the shopping center at Costco? So you guys seen a lot of work out there. So there's a relocation. Marshall's is going to relocate into a building that you see being built out there. So that's one update, Mary Beth. And let me see. Okay, I think I don't see any more, right?
There's one more from Robin about Woodland Bay businesses. Just above the one you just read.
Okay, all right. So what initiatives are Woodland businesses taking regarding sustainability and reducing greenhouse gases, and how can the city help them? So I'm so proud that we have so many innovative businesses here in town who are really committed to the sustainability and being good stewards of our environment. And what we do is we're actively partnering with them to see if we have an opportunity to support them for any state or federal grants. So writing letters of support, and also identifying opportunities for them and serving them up to them. So we're constantly looking for, again, ways to help them convert to renewable energy. we have the infrastructure and economic development subcommittees of council where we're able to connect with businesses to talk about some of their needs and any initiatives that we can support them. So I would say case by case basis, but always looking again for those state and federal dollars to support our local businesses to make these changes.
Looks as though I don't see any other questions coming in. Oh, wait, there isn't. No, that's there. I think we're good. Oh, wait, no, I think we're good. So I want to thank you both so much. This went faster than I thought it would. We still have a little bit of time left. Janet, I see you're not muted anymore. Did you want to ask something?
You have 2 questions in chat that I don't know if they got.
Oh, you're right.
I got answered, and I want to just flag for you.
Thank you. Let's see. Let me close this. Bear with me just a second. Oh, there was a question about electric vehicles, but it was addressed in the Q&A, I believe.
And there's another one as well.
Yes, another one, yeah. Are the vehicles that will be used for the Metro Micro program electric? I think that's the first question. I think it was sort of addressed. We touched on it, yeah.
Yeah, I touched on that. Yeah, and the specifics of those vehicles aren't available yet. I don't have those. More to come as we start to formalize that program after the RFP process is complete.
Okay, good. But it's on the radar at least, right? Yeah, good.
It is. No, definitely on the radar.
Great. Okay. And here's another question. It seems like many infill projects are multi-story residents, not suitable for seniors, people with physical impairments. How can the city address the needs of those individuals? That's an excellent question.
Sure, yeah, thank you. Excellent question. Yeah, definitely having a place to age in place is important right here in our community. Again, being able to grow, be born in this great city, grow and retire is something that's important. So having those mix of housing is important. So something that the Woodland and Research Technology Project is going to have that variety of housing to address those needs. But certainly, again, with the infill projects, right, taking a look at that, how to accommodate the different needs of all community members, and with consideration for their abilities is something that we look at.
Great. Oh, we have another question in the chat. Yeah, there's another question in the chat from Christine. Can you see that?
Let's see. Hi, Christine. It relates to clean renewable energy. Does the City of Woodland have plans to opt up their municipal electric accounts to 100% renewable energy with Valley Clean Energy? That's a great question, Christine. Like I mentioned, the revisiting the climate action plan, taking a look at what are goals and the plans there is something that council has identified an opportunity to take a look at and have a study session around it.
Good, great.
So definitely an opportunity to revisit and set some goals there. So thank you for that.
Excellent, yeah. So are there any other questions for our 2 panelists? The last question's for me, so we'll handle that at the end. Thank you, Lorna.
I'll put out that I encourage folks to reach out to me. I hear from some of you, but most of you I don't. So my contact information is on the city website. Please let me know if there's an opportunity to come and talk to your neighborhood, or if you want to have a conversation with me. I'm certainly open to that.
Great. So I want to thank you both. This has been really enlightening, and it's like, as I said, it's moved really quickly. I thought we would, I would have to cut you off, and there's no way. So I want to thank everybody who's attended. Don't leave yet. The league wants to do a little promotion. So, but I welcome you to stay with us to the end, Mayra and Chief Calf. So, thank you.
It's
And
efficient,
yes,
Karen.
I'm sorry.
You
Go
were
ahead.
efficient.
Oh, thank
I said
you. Yeah,
efficient.
and it's great slides from both of you. That's much appreciated. Okay, so Lorna wants to know what the league is up to. Well, very good. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's been here attending and asking your great questions and the great answers that both of you have given to us. But we invite you to become involved with the league. We welcome new members, and we always welcome donors, of course. We have some things coming up. Our Democracy Works Award. We're not sure when the award's going to happen, but we have extended the invitation to submit nominations until March 8th. Previously, it was going to be a little bit earlier. Carla will be in charge of doing local candidate forums once we know which positions are up for election with opponents. And we hope to be doing some voter registration. In the past, we've done voter registration in the schools. Of course, we haven't been able to do that with COVID. So that's one of our big things that we do. So we welcome you. And here's our website. Maybe you want to jot it down. I don't think that's a live link, but you can email us at woodlandleaguenews@gmail.com. And Carla, would you like to add anything else about
Well,
anything?
I would like to mention that on March 9th, we will be having an evening meeting,
Right,
and
thank you.
invite people to join us for discussing the league and what activities you as either a member or interested citizen would like to see the league doing. If you would like to join that meeting, please email us at the email there, and we will send you a link that it is going to be a Zoom meeting so that you can learn more about the league and give us ideas about how the league can do more for the people of Woodland.
Right.
And I'm
Lorna,
glad the surrounding communities, because we
Right.
welcome our rural neighbors to join us as well.
Right, thank you. Yeah, we probably should have put that on the slide, and we both forgot about that, I think. Yeah. But thank you for bringing that up, because that wasn't on my radar. So there's no other Q&A here. Well, at that meeting that Lorna prompted me to ask about, we're going to have, it's not going to be just a regular board meeting. It will be a forum for members, and invite anybody who wants to see what we're up to and give your ideas for, what we can do in the future. So from Judy to host the 3rd to the 8th, yes. We have a correction. The 8th is March 8th is that meeting date, not the 9th. It's the first two. I guess that's the second Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, it's March 8th. So
thank you, Judy.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you, Judy, for that. So I want to thank everybody who's taken part in this, Carla especially for doing the slides. Pat Butler, who's not showing her face, but she's there. She's our past president. Judy Wolfram is our event manager. And this has been fun and very informative. And we're even ending early, so you can go have your lunch.
10 minutes to eat lunch.
10 minutes from, 10 minutes to lunch. Oh, eat fast.
Thank you so much. Ladies, you guys always do a phenomenal job. I appreciate everything you do, from hosting that redistricting workshop earlier last year. Gosh, yeah, the time flies, and all the candidate forums that you do. Thank you so much. if there is ever an opportunity to do one in Spanish to reach our Latino communities, please
Fantastic
let me
idea.
know. We can have Chief work on his Spanish.
Right, yeah. And also want to thank the City of Woodland for helping us set this up. There's no face there, but we know there is somebody behind that screen. And because this is a little bit more complicated than our normal Zoom meetings that we have. So, but thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.